Good morning, everyone. We're going to start our service this morning by singing hymn number 188 in your gray hymnals, if you're interested in looking along. Come, come, whoever you are. So we'll start with the line, though you've broken your vows 1,000 times for a bit, then sing it through once together, and then we'll divide for half the round, and Lisa will lead those of you on the right side of the sanctuary for the round, and I will lead you on the left. We can do this. Here we go. Broken your vows 1,000 times, though you've broken your vows 1,000 times. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, let again come. Now this side.
Come, come, whoever you are.
Come, come, whoever you are. Wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come yet again,
A Call to Worship by Kimberly Tomzak Carlson. It is not by chance that you arrived here today. You have been looking for something larger than yourself. Inside of you there is a yearning, a calling, a hope for more, a desire for a place of belonging and caring. Through your struggles, someone nurtured you into being, instilling a belief in a shared purpose, a common yet precious resource. It belongs to all of us when we share. And so you began seeking a beloved community, a people that does not put fences around love, a community that holds its arms wide open to the possibilities of love. A heart home to nourish your soul and share your gifts. Welcome home and welcome to worship. Today, we share this land acknowledgement that has been written by our core team doing our right relations work. Today, we gather on the unceded ancestral lands of the Duwamish people who are still here carrying forward cultural practices and wisdom that have stewarded this land and the surrounding waters for generations. As we feel ourselves firmly grounded on the land beneath us, let us remember that we did not arrive here by chance, but as the beneficiaries of laws that displaced the Duwamish from their homes, banned them from gathering their foods, and strove to erase their language and culture. In addition to the harm of this stolen land of indigenous peoples, we acknowledge the stolen bodies of Africans captured and sailed to foreign shores, and the stolen labor of Black, Indigenous, and other people of color. In this acknowledgement, let us have the courage to consider our role in the repair of this legacy of violence and erasure. Whoever you are, wherever you have come from, whatever the color of your skin, whoever and however you love, however your body moves and your brain works, however you identify, you are welcome here in this faith community. Our Unitarian Universalist tradition has no test of faith, no creed or oath to swear. We have instead the promises we make to one another, commitments we make to healing a hurting world within and beyond our walls. You are welcome.
And now let us take a moment to light our chalice. Our chalice lighter today is Laura Pierce. This chalice is the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist heritage. May its heat energize us for the work that is ours to do. May its light make our vision clear and bright. May its warmth comfort us always. This morning, as we light this flame, we mark this time as sacred time. We mark this space as sacred space. Let us share in all of this together. Now, will you please join me in speaking the words of our congregation's affirmation? Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship. Thus do we covenant with one another. Welcome to the Westside Unitarian Universalist congregation. I am Jill Fleming, a member of the worship team, and it is my great joy to be gathering with you for this Ingathering service on the theme of faithfully becoming. As a multi-generational service, we will share in a different format than usual, and we'll have lots of opportunities to engage. You will be invited to offer your full selves here in moments of connection with the neighbors sitting around you, in song and in our water communion. If you are with us for the first time, or the first time in a while, welcome. We are so glad that you are here to share in this time, to make space in your life, to attend to your heart and your spirit, to come together in community. Please visit our website, which you can do by scanning the QR code on the card in the pews, where you can fill out a welcome form so we can get to know you a bit better and send you our weekly electronic newsletter, the Westside Week. It is good to see familiar and new faces today. Let us take a few moments now to greet our neighbors around us. As always, it is good to see such enthusiastic greetings. Normally, I would invite everyone to the social hall after the service for coffee and conversation, but today is Ingathering, and wait, there's more. Everyone, please join us downstairs and in the parking lot for potluck finger foods, community, conversation, children's games, music, informational tables, and of course, the famous West Side Dessert Contest. Please come, whether you brought something to share or not. Everyone is welcome. Each week, congregants who agree to light our chalice are given a chance to respond to a question. This is a chance for us to get to know them better and to invite more voices into our chancel. Laura Pierce has been asked, what does being Unitarian Universalist mean to you at this point in your life?
Good morning. My name is Laura Pierce, and I've been a Unitarian Universalist for about 20 years now. I came to Westside when the Rainier Valley congregation merged in with Westside, and I've really enjoyed being a part of this mid-sized congregation and raising my now 23-year-old daughter here with many of you. And I'm here today with my wonderful wife, Heidi Neff, who is a Quaker but likes to join once in a while. Being a UU means community. It means that this ragtag group of us are better off together. In community, we can challenge each other to learn and grow spiritually and ethically, and we can support each other through joys and sorrows. In June, I completed my second year on the board of directors, and I rotated off. Serving on the board during a time of prolonged leadership transition and emergence from COVID was very challenging, but I'm grateful for the opportunity to serve with such a caring, committed group of people and accomplish a lot for the congregation. I grew as a leader watching my fellow board members lead with compassion and courage. In the coming year, I'm looking forward to serving on Reverend Carter's Committee on Ministry and to deepening my own skills to resolve conflicts through our work on racial justice, nonviolent communication, and right relations. May we build our skills together, give each other grace when mistakes are made, and hold each other accountable to grow. For me, being a UU also means being a person of faith. Not faith in God or an outside savior, but faith in us. I have faith in people that I know inside and outside this congregation who share my values and will work hard on behalf of those values. I'm grateful that my day job also reflects my values. I proudly serve as the executive director of the Nonprofit Association of Washington, our state association supporting all types of nonprofits. This work can be challenging, and being grounded spiritually helps. I hope that being a UU is a source of energy that you need to care for yourself and others around you and to make the difference that you want to make in the world. Thank you.
All right, everyone. I invite you all to please rise in body or spirit for our opening hymn, which is number 1020, Wo Ya Ya, in your green or teal hymnals, if you like. I'd also like to invite any children, youth, and families, and we've talked to some of you beforehand, to come forward and share in leading this song. And I'll be coming right out in front. You're welcome to stand on the stairs up here or on the floor. So come on up. Yeah. Those of you who, and families, and there we go. Anyone else want to come up? Great. And I'm handing out, so you'll be facing out, but you won't have to sing without help of some lyrics.
Heaven knows where we are going, but we know within. Even amidst mystery, there is a trust here in this song, an intuition, a faith in our intuition that will guide us. I'm not sure how long I've known this song, probably as long as it's been in the Blue Hymnal, but I can tell you about the time that it first settled down deep in my soul. Some years back, I was spending a week with a collection of UU emerging adults from across the US and Canada. We were staying at U Bar U, a Quaker ranch turned UU retreat center in the middle of Texas Hill Country. Imagine that. The program was meant for us to build connections with one another across the distance. We all lived so far apart. And it was a chance for us to dive deep into our faith identity at this moment in time as we all navigated our newfound adulthood. While I had been a Unitarian Universalist my whole life, this was a chance for me to really come to terms with the fact that my relationship to this faith was indeed changing, and that it was normal to change. I think this is why we ask this question now of what does it mean at this point in your life to be UU? I had gone through my college years without finding a real church community, though I had tried, and I felt adrift. And at the same time, I was preparing to enter seminary and the world of professional ministry, so I knew changes were coming. The faith of my childhood, where I knew I could show up to church on Sunday morning and be greeted as a regular, as a beloved child of my community, those days were gone. I could return every now and then, but it was really just to say hi. I could visit a new congregation and be greeted as an absolute newcomer. And as a young adult, people often assumed I was oblivious to what this faith was, and I had just stumbled in off the street. So it wasn't the most welcoming place for me, but I made it work. And that is just in terms of my changing relationship to the institution of church, of Unitarian Universalism. Suffice it to say, my spiritual beliefs and my practices were very much undergoing a time of reformation as well. So there I was, huddled around a campfire with new friends who were going through journeys unique in their details but similar in flavor to mine. And into the night, every night, we sang Wo Ya Ya. It became the theme song of the week. It was this idea that our lives stretched out in front of us in a really unknown way. But yet, we were trying to cultivate a faith that we would be guided and we would figure it out. Maybe this faith was in something larger than us, or something that lived within us, or maybe we found it in community, but we had faith. This idea of faithfully becoming that we are orienting our worship program around this year is touching on that same theme. As individuals and as a community, we are in a process of becoming, and in order to do so bravely, joyfully, creatively, and wholeheartedly, we must also try to do it faithfully. We need to have faith that this journey will lead us somewhere, a faith that we have an inner knowing that will help us along the way, though the road may be muddy and rough. This is a service where we get to reflect on what this community means to us and maybe be inspired for the road ahead. I am glad you are all here with me. And so I want to share a poem that I wrote on that retreat. It feels like a reminder that the sacred is right here with us, that to move through this life with courage is indeed a spiritual practice. Campfire smoke hanging on sweaters and denim jackets. Flames, spurts, sparks drift into stars. Comfort me, O my soul. Each face illuminated by a flicker, an image of God repeating as fractals. Heaven knows where we are going, but we journey not alone. Flames, spurt, sparks drift into stars, and we learn to name this holy. Thanks.
It is now time for our Time for All Ages. Jade Wild, our Director of Religious Exploration, and Leilani Davenberry, one of our congregation's experienced storytellers, will take the lead today. They have a special activity for us, so this week we'll ask children and others to stay in your spots for the moment. And as this is a multi-generational service, children and youth are invited to remain here in the sanctuary for the rest of the service.
Good morning. I'm Leilani, one of our storytellers.
As we come together here with all our hearts mingling, much as the water and our rocks will in ceremony today, it sure is good to celebrate this opportunity to be a multi-generational community. Faith communities continue to offer a way for us to have caring relationships and thoughtful and be together in community with thoughtful humans of all ages and differing identities, to learn together, to support one another, to work side by side for justice and equity, to know and to be known in our community, and to belong here. You belong here if you happen to be in preschool or elementary school. Why don't you stand or raise your hand if that's you? Preschool or elementary school, all the way through 5th grade. Raise your hand. I know we have some people. Yes! All right. Thank you, Cleo. Not working? Oh, is that better? And you belong here if you are a middle or a high school youth. Raise your hand if that's you. Woohoo! And you belong here if you are a young adult or an adult who is young at heart. And you belong here if you are a family, a part of a family with children and youth in your home. Raise your hand if that's you. Yeah. And you belong here if you consider yourself to be perhaps in your, very fine middle ages or an elder in our community. Raise your hand if that's you. Sometimes we use this gesture to show affirmation, congratulations, and appreciation or gratitude. Oh, and sometimes we use this gesture to do that. So let's all do that for the gratitude that we hold of being in multi-generational communities together.
With that same energy of celebration, our RE program this year is centering relationships and fun. We've been learning from many of you how we might stretch into some different ways of doing things to better support and engage our children, youth, and families. Our primary way to do that is to offer multi-age activities for our youth and adults to do meaningful things together, such as baking, art projects and music, community service, exploring nature, mindfulness, yoga and dance, and of course, games and play and snacks. We believe that many other important intentions and learnings in our RE programs will grow organically from a place of trust where our children, youth, and families, parents feel a sense of belonging and joy in participating.
Speaking of games, why don't we play one right now? We are going to roughly divide you into 4 columns, and we work together with everyone in your column all the way to the back end of the sanctuary to get 1 balloon per column from the front all the way to the back. And you're going to do that as quickly as you can. And we invite you to sit or stand for this, whatever's most comfortable for you. Here's the thing. We're going to instruct a person in each line in the very front.
So we'll be a column here, kind of in the center middle, and then we'll have our, yes, thank you. We'll have our fourth column over here. Thank you. That is very helpful. Okay. No. So we'll tell you when to go. All ages must touch the balloon. Okay? As many ages as you can. Don't start until we say go. But only one hand is supposed to touch the balloon. And you can pass the rule, but don't start until we say go.
Run, Henry, run!
Yay! Well, it looks like everyone has accomplished. It looks like everyone has accomplished the task. Hooray! Let's pause for a moment where you are. Take a couple breaths. Let this experience sink in. And our balloon holders, please hold on to your balloon for a moment. How are you feeling in your body, in your heart, in your head? Trying to get the information passed as the balloon was passing, seeing others maybe were doing it differently. Take a moment to reflect to yourself, what did you notice in your experience when playing? Perhaps you noticed that each column was doing something different in their passing. In fact, each one was given a very different rule to follow to get their balloon to the back. And that message had to be shared from person to person as it was passed. Maybe there was some confusion too.
Maybe there was a little chaos. But we have this amazing opportunity to connect in community and to co-create how we want to do that. To bring our care and intentions in practice together and to learn how to deepen that experience. Even as we hold healthy conflict in our congregation, which we can. One important piece of building that inclusive culture is to know the intentions we are agreeing to together and to be able to communicate clearly and with care. So let's try this game one more time, this time from the back forward. But here is what you need to know. We will all share one clear rule. This rule is to make eye contact with the person you are passing to. Of course, if eye contact is something you don't want to do or aren't able to do, just say a thank you in your own way to that person. That is the rule for everyone. Are our balloon holders in the back ready? Okay, is everyone else ready to receive the balloon with our one shared rule? Okay, and go! And the balloons are passing. Lots of great eye
Yes,
contact.
I'm so sorry we didn't give you a balloon to bounce back and forth. Thank you for saying something.
Here it comes. Woohoo!
We have all of our balloons up here in great time. Let's take another pause. Let this version of the experience sink in. How are you feeling in your body, in your heart, in your head, now that you have participated in the game with one clear rule that everyone shared? Reflect to yourself, what did you notice in this experience when playing this version of the game?
May we all grow together in learning how to best live our intentions and our covenant this year in a caring way. So thank you all for participating in our balloon adventure today.
Thanks very much to Leilani and Jade for that experience and the message. In a moment, we will engage in a collective act of generosity known as our offering, when we take time to actively support Westside and its many ministries with our gifts by text, check, or cash. Each month, we choose a community organization to share 1/3 of our undesignated offering gifts. That is, those donations not designated as your pledge contributions. For the month of September, our community giving recipient is Southwest Youth and Family Services. And this is an organization that happens to be very close to my heart. They do really good work. Southwest Youth and Family Services is a leading resource for low-income families and youth in Southwest King County. Since 1979, they have continually adapted to the changing landscape of our region while remaining dedicated to offering education, counseling, youth, and family development services within a welcoming environment. Because we now worship in the sanctuary just 2 times per month, there are fewer Sunday opportunities to extend our generosity to our community partners. Please consider increasing your contribution in each service so that we can continue to support the work of these worthy organizations. You can give by text by sending a message with a $sign and the amount you want to give to the number on the screen. For folks here in the sanctuary who prefer to share your gifts by cash or check, the greeters will move among us shortly. If you would like your gift to be recorded as coming from you, please use one of the envelopes in the pew. And now, please enjoy this gift of music, Pass on the Light, sung by the Westside Chorale.
Small and bright, and as
Thank you to everyone for giving you as you are able to support West Side and Southwest Youth and Family Services. Your generosity of time, treasure, and presence are the gifts that sustain us as a community.
As Leilani and Jade helped to demonstrate, this community does well together when we share a common purpose and understanding, when we can communicate well and hold common agreements about how we will go about our time together. Here at Westside, we have spent much time in recent months trying to get better at our communication and to figure out what our common agreements actually are. So much has been unspoken in the past, and we want to be better about sharing honestly with one another, even when it's hard, even when we are hurt or have hurt others. This community has made a significant investment of time and energy, or time and money specifically, to this work last spring, and we are continuing to do so again throughout this coming church year. We are holding monthly community circles on the first Sunday of each month. We are holding healing circles where people affected by past conflicts in this community can come together to unpack their experiences, and where eventually we hope to build toward reconciliation. We are learning nonviolent communication, and a core team and community well-being team are taking on extra training and responsibilities in order to build the skills to facilitate this work far into the future. There are so many ways to engage, and the invitations will keep coming, so I invite you to think about what invitations you want to say yes to. For our service this morning, I wanted to bring this important work right here into the sanctuary. In just a minute, I will invite up Pam Orbach and Henry Bennett to share a bit more about this work and lead us in a short and enlivening exercise. Pam Orbach's life's work is practicing and facilitating restorative and transformative justice, and she has been partnering with Westside to support our culture change, our skill development, and conflict engagement. In addition to facilitating important learning opportunities, she is equipping congregational leaders with skills to continue this work when we finish our contract with her. Henry Bennett is one of these congregational leaders. He has been a dedicated member of the core team who is excited about being a part of this culture change. So Henry and Pam, please come forward. You said you wanted to share?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
Hello, everyone. Is this working? It's working. Hello, everyone. My name's Henry.
My name's Pam, and I have a lot of trouble being in front of a room. I really like being in a circle.
I think we just want to start off with just taking a moment to ground ourselves. So if everyone just can find your feet, get planted, rest your eyes, your gaze. You can look at the floor. I'm just going to find our breath right now. Just take a couple of big, deep breaths. All right. Thank you all. That's our time. No, we're gonna start off with a remembering to set the space, set our intentions for this space for our quick intro, and chime a bowl.
Before Henry goes, I just want to say a remembering for me can be a quote or a poem, but it's something that just drops us in immediately into a shared sense of understanding of what's calling us together in whatever we're doing in this moment. So I invite you to still find your breath, that tool that's always there for us to rest in and to ground us in our bodies, and notice the sensation of breathing and rising and falling lungs as you listen to Henry, and I'll start you with a chime.
So this is Fire by Judy Brown. What makes a fire burn is the space between the logs, a breathing space. Too much of a good thing, too many logs packed in too tight can douse the flame almost as surely as a pail of water would. So building fires requires attention to the spaces in between, as much as to the wood. When we are able to build open spaces in the same way we have learned to pile on the logs, then we can come to see how it is fuel and the absence of the fuel together that make fire possible. When we only need to lay a log lightly from time to time, a fire grows simply because the space is there, with openings in which flame that knows just how it wants to burn can find its way.
Thanks. I love that poem. It speaks volumes to me for what this work is. We've all been trained since we were really young to focus on keeping ourselves safe, especially when we didn't have power in our worlds. And a lot of that is about understanding what's wrong and watching out for that. And so this poem really speaks to me of what are we choosing to focus on? And if we're focusing too much on ways we've been trained or ways that we generally thinking about things, we may miss a lot of opportunities to see things differently. And so it's almost where we put our attention, that's where the energy goes. And if we put our attention on what's wrong with me, what's wrong with you, what's wrong with the community, what's wrong with the world, we're only seeing that, and then we get more of what's wrong. But if we actually, and I think that's exactly what Jade and Leilani just did for us with the balloons, if we actually shift to putting our attention on what does bring us joy, and where are we focused, that's what actually will arise. We end up creating the reality we want to live in. So we want to give you a little experience of this this morning. And we're going to model this little exercise we're going to ask everyone to do, including, I hate not being in a circle. The people who can't have been looking at our backs all this time. So we're gonna play a game that the core team has played a couple of times, and it's called I Could Talk About. And I actually heard Reverend Carter, I heard you saying in your delivery earlier, even in the way you delivered it, you said, I could talk about in your poem. So we're not going to go into detail. We're just all going to, I'd ask you to just take a moment when we've demonstrated this to think for yourself. We're looking at what has brought us sustenance and nourishment in this community, in the spiritual community. And I will give you the whole prompt in a minute. But we're going to model it for you first so that it's clear what's being asked. So Reverend Carter and Henry, I wonder if you could join me here in a little circle of 3. And the prompt is going to be, name a time or a way this spiritual community has brought you nourishment and sustenance. Okay, and you're going to start off with just one sentence naming that thing by saying, I can talk about. And we're going to go round in a thread.
And for anyone who's new, maybe you can speak to how in a different community you have received nourishment. And if you're at home watching live stream, maybe there's someone that you're watching with, or maybe there's a journal, and you can write that down and bring it to when you can come in person.
And I just want to name, for those of us who have not had a lot of success experiencing belonging and sustenance in spiritual community, what are you longing for? And we're going to talk about it. So we'll just demonstrate this. very difficult with people behind us. I'll begin. I can talk about how the core team has shown up every single week for 2 hours on a screen to learn how to deepen relationship with each other.
I could talk about like creating a new relationship to this church, from switching from that, like growing up to it, to now being in it in a different way, and how that has just changed my life.
I can talk about this community's commitment to gratitude practice, not an event goes by without lots of gratitude being expressed from everyone. It's taught me a lot.
I can talk about the mourning for people who chose to leave because we didn't have the skills and tools to stay together through the hard time.
I could talk about how I've been able to hear people's some very like deep stories in community circle and feel connected to them.
I can talk about the fact that everyone comes with such different life experience and still brings that and teaches one another through their own unique lens.
Okay, so now we're gonna have people group into 4s and max 5s. Take a look at the people behind you, if you're in the pew, or just self-organize. But yeah, and we're can start that process of going around. Pause, don't move. Don't move from your group. So now, if you could all just go around one more time and just say quickly, like, how was this experience? Like, what was meaningful about sharing, about doing that sharing?
It's good to think about the good things.
I appreciate learning more of your stories from
Okay, I'm hearing it die down a little bit. And now everyone just check in with yourself. Just feel how that experience was and check in around what needs were met in doing that and doing this with each other. And thank you all. I got one more thing to say, one more thing to shout out. We, Pam Orbach, Reverend Carter, and the core team are putting on a 2-day retreat, September 29th and September 30th and October 1st to do a deepening of learning conflict resolution skills. And so we'd love to see you all there. There's a video that we made, and I'm excited to share that and to promote it. And yeah, I'll be downstairs too if you have any questions about it, and I hope to talk to you all. Thank you.
I have one thing to add. The core team and the well-being team and everybody who's shown up in circles and come to the NVC training, like there's a group of people who've been working really hard, and at a certain point, the community is imperative to help this really move through to come and be part of the work. And so the degree of success that they can have is the degree of success to which belonging extends to everyone, and we start to think about how much do we want to intentionally make the community we want to have. So I invite you all. It's going to be very skills-based and not very circle-based. If circle's not your thing, but learning is, join us. Thanks.
Now, please enjoy the West Side Chorale as they sing Draw the Circle Wide with Christina Darnell as our soloist.
Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle, draw the circle wide.
Thank you, Christina, Scott, the whole chorale, John. I just love the way the music can bring all the themes of a service together. So here we are, gathered at the start of this new church year. For many of us, this is a time of seasons turning as we approach the fall equinox. Many of us may be going back to school, the rhythm of our lives is shifting. We may be returning to familiar routines, but at the same time, we are facing a new day. And this is true for our church family as it is for each of us as individuals. Since the 1980s, Unitarian Universalists have commemorated the beginning of the new church year with a water communion. Many of us have brought water from places near and far, and all of us will have an opportunity to pour into a common bowl.
Water is rich with symbolism, reminding us of the interconnectedness of all living things. Reverend Amy Zucker Morgenstern writes, "We all come from water, as a species on a planet where life began in the ocean, as mammals who float in amniotic fluid as we ready for Earth, as beings whose cells are mostly water. And yet, we are separate from each other. In our communities, we are separate and together, the way water scatters into rain and streams and clouds and springs and ponds and puddles, and yet flows together again and again, one great planetary ocean."
When we meditate on water, we are reminded of our dependence on this earth home to survive. Water quenches our thirst, helps us clean our hands, our bodies, and our homes. And water nourishes all the other beings around us that we share this life with. The waterways around us shape the landscapes of our lives, and we are awed and humbled each time we remember this.
We are surrounded by water, the Salish Sea, the Duwamish River, the lakes around us, Fauntleroy Creek and Longfellow Creek, where salmon still migrate despite all odds. And much of the year, we experience our abundance of water as mist, fog, and rain.
In gratitude and reverence for water, we will bring forth this precious resource and share it with one another. If you are participating in our service online today, you may wish to hold with you a small vessel of water to meditate on.
This year, we are bringing stones too. In future services, our community will share our joys and sorrows by placing stones into these bowls on our shared altar table. These stones will provide a tactile and visual representation of all the joys and sorrows we carry with us and share with this community. As they are placed together, the juxtaposition of their colors, shapes, and textures will remind us of the rich complexity of our human experiences. When we hold these stones, we will have a chance to infuse them with the energy of whatever is on our hearts and minds. When we place them down, we can, in some small way, release our burdens and mingle our joys together.
As we come forward, we can offer stones as a gift to this shared collection. I am sure you have brought stones of many kinds from many places. Each one has a unique story to it, and this collection will serve to hold the shared energy of this congregation, a reminder that we become something bigger together. For those of you online, you may wish to find a stone to hold in your hand or an object that holds the symbolism of a stone for you. Think of something with smooth, weighty solidity.
During our time of ritual, Scott will lead us in a chant called Welcome the Rain, written by our own Riley Anderson during a year of particularly bad fires. This is a song for you used to welcome the rainy season. It is dedicated to those who fought and the ones who died in the wildfires of 2014. Riley says, writing this song made me think how plants and animals are all made mostly of water, and yet there is fire in the lava below us and fire in the stars above us. Water is just a thin layer in between, but without it, there would be no life. Rain is a source of fresh water for all life, so let's celebrate the return of autumn rains in ceremony and song.
So please, let us enter into this time of ritual in reverence and celebration. All of us in the sanctuary, in a moment, you will be asked to move to the front to place your water and stones into these bowls. You will come down through the sides of the sanctuary, returning to your seats down the center aisle.
As you come forward, we ask you to hold your offerings with love. If you didn't bring water or stones today, you are invited to come forward in participation too. We have stones and water here at the altar for you. You may pour from this pitcher and choose a stone from the basket as your act of blessing. If you brought something to share today but do not wish to come forward, you may pass your objects to a neighbor or wave your hand for an usher to come get them for you. If you are joining from online, you are invited to join in the chant or to simply follow your breath and feel those two elements, water and stone. For all of us, take this time to think of the stories that are held in your water and your stones. Where did they come from? What life did they have before you encountered them? What life will they have after you leave them at the altar? You may wish to hold them to your heart and breathe deeply in this moment.
Now, let us join in this celebration of water communion. And take your time coming forward. We've got to grab some pictures. Thanks, everyone. Let us close this ritual with a moment of blessing. Each of you, if you want, you can extend your hands out towards the or place them on your heart, whatever you would like. Thank you, Jill. These bowls containing water collected from our adventuring and stones brought forth from amongst us are a symbol of this community. May this water do what water does best, nourish life. We may meet it again in a future ritual in this community, or maybe it will come down on us in the form of rain, or maybe we will immerse ourselves in it on some hot summer day to come. Maybe we will drink a bit. Water is in a constant cycle, moving through all of us and supporting all the beings we share this earth with. May the water serve to remind us of our interconnectedness. And may these stones do what stones do best, offer us solidity and grounding. We will meet them again in future ritual. Over time, we will learn to feel the weight and texture of these stones. When we hold one in our hand and place our joy or sorrow into them, may we remember that it is a gift from a neighbor. May these stones too remind us of our interconnectedness.
So I just wanted to take a moment before we sing our final hymn to hold. Larry's been having some real health challenges, and so he had to leave, and so our beloved drummer, for those of you who don't know. So let's just spend a moment just holding him in our hearts and in the souls, and sending him energy in any way that feels best to you. So now I invite you to rise in body or spirit for our sending hymn, and maybe we could have people move this. That'd be great, because we have people coming up front. So have a couple people help that. Thank you. And please rise in body or spirit for our sending him Blue Boat Home. And I invite any of you who feel so moved to come forward and join the chorale in leading this favorite hymn of ours. And again, please come up now and stand on the stairs or on the floor. And I've invited a few of you, and anyone else who wants to come up and just face out to the congregation and look at all these beautiful faces, you're welcome to do so. Jay and Soph is passing out lyric sheets, so you don't have to worry about not knowing the words.
Thanks to John, Larry, Scott Farrell, and the West Side Chorale for providing our music today. Deep thanks to everyone who participated in this service. Thanks to Jade and Leilani for leading our time for all ages, to Pam and Henry for sharing about the important work that they're doing in this community, to Reverend Carter for shaping and framing this service, to our ushers and our tech team. As always, it is a pleasure and blessing to do this sacred work together. We have just a couple of announcements before we say our closing words. A week from today, we will have an exciting Third Sunday program, our Racial Justice Kickoff. It will be a chance to connect while making music and art and prepare for the work ahead in our journey toward beloved community. And this is the season to sign up for covenant groups. We have 4 groups running currently, which are welcoming new members. And you can find more information about all of these opportunities and the Building Community Connections Learning Retreat in your West Side Week. Our next Sunday service will be on September 24th with Reverend Carter preaching about transformation as a core element of our UU faith.
Please rise in body or spirit for our closing words from Kayla Rice. It starts with a drop, then a trickle, a burble, a rush of water bubbling towards its destination, and finally the wide, endless sea. All rivers run to the sea. Today you brought water, poured it into our common bowls. Though our experiences have differed, these waters mingle, signifying our common humanity. Today you came and shared in this sacred community, and may you depart this sacred space with hearts filled with hope for a new beginning, a fresh start. Go forth, but return to this community where rivers of tears may be shed, where dry souls are watered, where your joy bubbles, where your life cup overflows, where deep in your spirit you have found in this place a home. All rivers run to the sea. And now, as Laura releases our flame, may you go into this week and to our potluck, blessed and blessing the world. We hold you in our love as you go.